What up, apes? Jack into the Matrix and jack off to anime girls now. They're hot, they're in your area, and they can fill that vacuous pit you feel deep inside when you see your disheveled face staring back at you in the screen's reflection. The loneliness epidemic is here. There is no hope. There is no cure. There is only the last show produced by soft, squishy bags of meat, Super Despair World.
All right, motherfuckers, welcome to the show. This is Super Despair World, and if you like this podcast and you want to support it, you can go to patreon.com/superdespairworld and donate a sinister $6 to unlock our bonus episodes, which are great. You can also join our Discord with a bunch of great people. And we also have a merch store, merch.superdespairworld.com, where you can get some stickers with all of the cool art you've seen on the covers of these episodes. And if you do that, you're going to have a great life. And if you don't, well, I really can't, there's nothing I can do for you.
Yeah, get on top of the sticker game now. One day, all of our stickers together will be worth at least 3 Beanie Babies. It's a good investment.
Yeah, Beanie Babies before the crash, of course.
There was a crash? Oh, right. I think there was. I don't know. I remember I had a shit ton of Beanie Babies when I was like 5 years old or something, and I think we lost like all of them in a house fire. So
yeah, I have a bunch, but they're my emotional support Beanie Babies, so I would never sell regardless. I need them for companionship.
Yeah, the only Beanie Babies that I need are Audience, which are full of nice soft metal ball bearings or whatever they were full of.
Yeah, I look for products and services to because I'm lonely and deeply sad on the inside. So I got Tamagotchis, I got Beanie Babies, I got some Furbies, that dog with a remote that wags its tail if you say something or whatever that was. I have
to give Tamagotchis at least a little bit of credit because they're only one of these like ungodly machines that has the courtesy to die. So that makes them a bit less bad than all of the others.
Yeah, I killed a bunch of those. I never cleaned its shit up because I thought it was funny. But I guess that's not the way to get the peak Tamagotchi evolution, so...
Yeah, I remember being the weird kid in 3rd grade, and I would just sit alone in the corner of the room, staring down at my Tamagotchi, asking it to be fed, and I would just say no and feel superior.
Oh, yeah. Finally getting a taste of that God complex. That's good shit.
Yeah, and we've got a lot to say about God complexes today. I feel like I think our program is pretty educational. I feel like our viewers get a lot out of listening to us riff every week. I think we have a lot to say. So consider this episode. If you've been listening to the show for like a good while now, if you're a new listener, that's fine. This is not for you. But if you've been listening to us for a while now, I think some of the things we're going to show you and talk to you guys about today, consider it like a test. I want you to see if your like initial like gut reaction to the things presented kind of line up with ours, because I think I don't know, I think this will be a good litmus test. There was a little something that I wanted to talk about, and I just stumbled onto this while scrolling the internet, and I showed it to some of my friends. I showed it to Dave. It was an interesting little study. Why don't we get straight into that?
Yeah, so I assume the thing you're talking about is how people are using AI from now as opposed to 2024, right?
Yes, the top 10 Gen AI use cases. This is like all the different things people use it for. Comparing last year to, I guess, the current year. I don't have the exact dates. I mean, we're only a few months in, but it was interesting nonetheless, and I think we can there's a lot to sink our teeth into here.
Yeah, yeah. So, well, what are people using? What were people using Gen AI for back in the salad days of 2024, as
The
opposed to
before
now in
times.
2025? Yeah, the before times.
Yeah, okay. So this is like a top 10 list. Number 1, it says last year was generating ideas, which if I could make some assumptions here, I guess maybe that's like if you're writing like essays for college or something, or if you're like, I don't know, doing some creative writing, it's like I've seen some people in some discords I'm in, some like tabletop game servers, be like, Grok, give me like 10 monsters that would be in a desert environment or something like that. Very, I don't know, very dumb trivial shit like that. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, so it's tagged yellow as content creation and editing, which are like that's kind of a it's kind of a very broad category. Like content creation, well, obviously that's probably not that great. Editing, I mean, if you're using it to like edit grammar or something, I don't really have that much beef with that. But
It always seemed weird to me that people need that. I remember getting ads for what is it, like Grammarly or some shit. I never looked into it, but I'm like, do y'all just did you guys like not fucking pass an English class in high school? How much help with grammar do you need? I don't know. Maybe it's an ESL thing.
I've seen some pretty bad grammar out there, and I'm not gonna like dog on somebody for saying who instead of whom or some bullshit like that. But
Yeah, who just among us has not made that error?
just like I've seen like people who don't really know how to like where to put periods and shit like that bad, like grown ass fucking adults, and that's a little weird to me, because the rules are pretty simple on that. But you know, I don't know, like everybody has their weakness. I mean, if your grammar is complete shit, you're probably better off using Grammarly or even the really shitty like detection grammar check thing on like Microsoft Word or Google Docs or whatever.
Have you seen this phenomenon lately where I've seen a lot of people raise a big stink about M dashes, like when you're writing a sentence and I guess it's like you have a little pause or something, you put like a double dash or whatever. I've seen a lot of people freak out about M dashes lately, like, oh, if you use these at all, that means you used AI or whatever. And I'm like, I don't know, I think people are being a little too sensitive. Like maybe AI does use those a lot, but like I don't think this whole like little grammatical thing is like inherently bad. I don't know, people are making a big stink about that.
Insane take. I use M dashes all the time. I'm a huge M dash supporter. It's probably because these LLMs or whatever, they scrape a lot of like copy and a lot of journalism where they're gonna use that quite a bit. But
not only do I use M dashes, and I use them a lot, but I think they're great.
I also yeah they're great.
That'll look awesome in the transcript. It'll be very funny. Anyway, yeah,
I
said
it's M dash.
EM, whatever.
EM, yes.
Anyway,
yes.
I said, oh, maybe that's for writing essays or something, but I guess there's orange dots for learning and education, whatever. We can get into it more. The second highest use in 2024 was therapy and companionship, which, spoiler, this rose to number 1 in 2025. But man, that's a little troubling, don't you think? I don't know. I don't like that.
That's like the worst possible thing you could use an AI for. That's awful. That's a terrible idea. You're probably better off just journaling if you're doing that, because you're not talking to like a person or a professional or anything like that. You're just Google searching your problems, I guess, which is probably a better thing to do also.
Yeah, that we'll get more into that because I think that'll be a big theme of this entire episode. But perfect segue. Number 3 highest thing last year was specific search, which I guess is people just using like ChatGPT as like a search engine. It says it's for research, analysis, decision making. I don't know. That's sunk down to number 13 in the next year. But I don't know. That's not good either.
Well, I mean, that's not entirely accurate because now AI generated search results are forced down your throat when you use Google or even like DuckDuckGo or something like that. I mean, I think a lot of these search engines that try to say that they're like the alternative to Google, but it's like privacy based. It's just like a different front end for Google.
It's kind of like how every web browser nowadays is basically just running Chromium, but with a different skin or whatever.
Yeah, except for Firefox. Get on that Firefox thing. Although I guess Mozilla did some fucked up shit recently, so nothing is pure anymore.
Oh, okay. That's news to me, but maybe we can talk about it another time. Next couple ones, we're just going to kind of bang through these for last year. Number 4 was editing text. That sunk from 4 to 45, so I guess people don't use it that much. Exploring topics of interest, and that's for learning and education. I don't really know how even to interpret that. What do you think that means?
I don't know. Tell me more about whatever, but is that not searching? I don't know.
I guess
dropped to it's just like a little dot now. So I guess it's like off the charts.
Yeah, probably like below number 100 or something like that. I'm not sure. Anyway, below that is fun and nonsense, which I can only assume is probably like, I don't know, like fucking role playing with an anime girl or whatever.
Yeah, or generating memes, which I think is the only valid use of image, like generative image AI bullshit.
Sure.
And yeah, it was number 6. It dropped to number 7. So I'm glad that people are still carrying the torch for that.
Yeah, not a hugely precipitous drop. Then there's troubleshooting, went from 7 to 16. So I guess that's fallen. I can't imagine why. Maybe it's just, I don't know. Maybe people, I think if I had to guess, maybe people are like me and they just don't want to like talk to a fucking robot on the phone and just like will make a big stink until they can reach a person.
Yeah, I mean, like, are they talking about that or just like asking ChatGPT how to fix their microwave?
It does say green is technical assistance and troubleshooting, so like
very vague. Very vague.
Very vague. Not sure how they categorize all of these. Next one's enhanced learning. Again, probably some classroom bullshit. Personalized learning. That went from 9 to 17. That's down. Again, not sure what that's even supposed to mean. And general advice went from number 10 to below 100. Not even on the charts. So that was for 2024.
Okay, yeah. General advice. That's a solid category. Cool.
Yeah, the only general advice you guys need is to sub to the Patreon, and we tell you that every episode. So you don't need a stinking machine to tell you to do that.
Yeah, you don't need that.
Yeah, why don't you lead us into the top results for the current year, all caps current year. Some people are very mad about when I say current year. It's 2025.
All right, so current year. 2025. Number 1 is therapy companionship. We already spoiled that one. Yeah, again, well, just keep that one in mind for the future. Number 2, a new use case. Brand new in 2025.
Never been done before. We're hearing this for the first time.
Yeah, organizing my life. What does that mean? I couldn't really tell you.
Brock, why did my wife leave me?
Yeah, I have to organize all of the things that.
Brock, can you help me divide my stuff from my wife's stuff?
Hey, there you go. Okay, that's probably it. Number 3 is finding purpose, a new use case. Also, an absolute dog shit use of AI.
This one makes my heart sink a little bit. I've seen some different videos around the internet about this stuff about like, oh, this church is using an AI. It's like a Catholic church, and they have like an AI confessional or something. And I'm like, this, I don't know, I feel like a fucking Spanish Inquisition here. Like, this, I think this should get you killed. I feel like this is heretical. I feel like this is ungodly. I'm not religious myself, but I feel like, if God is out there, I feel like this is an affront to him. I don't know, I don't like this.
Yo, kids, we're using AI hot on the street to bring you closer to your relationship with God. You want to find purpose?
Like,
I hit us up on Grok.
Like, I hear about people using AI to find purpose, and I feel like I'm entering the building and I'm seeing people worship the bronze bull. I feel like this needs to be put a stop to, like, immediately.
I'm sure there's AI Jesus somewhere. Somebody's using that somewhere to make a quick buck, but
yeah, well, the devil does wear the veil of the righteous to send his unholy message, so that makes sense.
that is true. That is true. Number 4 is enhanced learning, up from number 8 last year. What does that mean?
Again, what the
know.
fuck is that? I don't know. How about unenhanced learning? How about listening to podcast slop?
Yeah, exactly. So number 5, up from 47 last year, is generating code for pros. Pros, PROS, not with the
not like the written word.
Yeah, so generating code. I think that's a valid use of AI, is automating. Really, what it comes down to for me is automating grunt tasks. And some people like writing code, and that's fine. And we need people to do that. So these things have something to train on if you're into that. But I'm not like a professional like script kiddie, code monkey, whatever. But as I understand things, like the vast majority of people who are like a coder for a living, like you're not reinventing the fucking wheel every single day. Like there is a use case for like people who are genuinely like brilliant at a fucking coding language and can find some really novel, concise, like clever use of it. But like for the most part, a lot of those jobs are like 90 to 99% like grunt work. That's like, okay, whatever, use the fucking machine to make the other machine run a little bit faster or whatever. Yeah, for sure. And maybe they can optimize something, but I'm more into the broader idea design aspect of stuff than the syntax of JavaScript. So for me, I think that's a valid use. Number 5 is cool. 1, 2, and 3 are fucked. Number 4, I don't even know what it is. So
if you can enter some code and just use the AI to tell you like, hey, did I miss like a semicolon somewhere? Like, awesome, that's fine. I don't know if that's how it works, but I think that would be ideal.
Yeah, that's one thing. I mean, like debugging and troubleshooting shit. That's it. That's what's up. Knocked off of the number 1 spot from 2024 down to number 6 is generating ideas, which we still don't truly know what that means. But whatever. Generating ideas down to number 6. Fun and nonsense went from 6 to 7 because people are too busy asking ChatGPT to find purpose and help them get through their divorce. So I had to
or
take
maybe
a step
the
down.
world is just 10% less fun ever since Drumpf, Mr. Bad Orange Man took office again.
Oh yeah, true.
No, I'm just kidding. It's much more than 10% less fun.
Yeah. Number 8 is improving code for pros, which is up from 19.
I feel
year.
like these don't need to be separate categories. Like, come on.
Yeah. Up from 27 the previous year is creativity, which, again, a very vague category. And number 10 up from 75 is healthier living. So, like, you're using... Like, what is that? Is this... I mean, these are all Gen AI, so... The question I have for a lot of this shit, and there is an article that goes along with this, and I'll get into that in a second, but does this include like all of the AI bullshit that all of these apps that existed a year ago have just like shoveled into their platform because AI is the hot new thing? Or are people actually seeking this out directly through ChatGPT or whatever.
Yeah, it's a good question. I will admit, like up front here, when I brought up this study, it was mostly because I was looking at the top 3 of 2025, which are therapy, companionship, organizing my life, and finding purpose. I saw those top 3, and I was like, this is really fucked. I think there's something like, not just like, I don't know, spiritually wrong, morally wrong. I don't know. Something about this makes me feel like a little sick to my stomach. I feel like there's something wrong with like the culture or like the way people are that makes people turn to this as like the solution for those kinds of problems.
Oh, for sure.
But
it's convenient.
Yeah, and we'll get into that. But I also, like, that was like the main thing that I like hyper fixated on. But now that we're actually going here and going down the list one by one, I'm starting to feel like, man, a lot of these categories are weird. What the fuck does that mean? This should be like this other category. What does that even mean? And I feel like, okay, maybe there's something dubious here. And I know that you looked into it like more deeply than I did.
So there is, this is sourced from an article, which you would think would be, some sort of scholarly article from like an actual university or from actual academics, but it's from, it was written by a guy named Mark Zhao Sanders, and this was written in March 2025. And apparently there was a report last year written up in the Harvard Business Review article. This guy really loves the Harvard Business Review. And it's formatted like an academic article, but I don't think this dude has any academic credentials. As I will talk about in the future, anything this dude makes is, you will see immediately that he's shouting out that he's the co-founder of filtered.com, which we'll talk about in a moment as well. And of course he puts his fucking LinkedIn link on here too. So he goes into the details of all of this shit. First of all, it's not even an abstract, it's an introduction, because I don't think this dude actually knows how to write academic articles, but the research methodology remains largely consistent with the prior study, employing a rigorous, expert-driven curation of public discourse sourced primarily from Reddit forums. This qualitative approach, blah, 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 a bunch of bullshit.
That's a lot of fucking words to say we looked up comments on Reddit.
Yes. Probably using AI to scrape fucking Reddit for takes on AI. But so this sheds a little bit of light on what they consider things for this category. So the first one, therapy and companionship, the definition is therapy provides emotional support and guidance through conversation and connection, can assist by offering virtual companionship, providing a listening ear, and generating empathetic responses to support individuals in their healing journey. Okay, fuck off.
First of all, that's complete bullshit, because like you're talking to a fucking machine. Machines cannot feel empathy. Maybe you read some words on the screen and you interpret it as empathetic, and that's because you're uneducated and you don't know how the fucking machine works. It's not real. It's all fake. It's just a fucking machine that says, "Oh, you look nice today," without actually being able to see what you fucking look like.
It's hilarious because all of these people who fucking own tech companies and are CEOs and shit, they're like tech illiterate. It's truly bizarre, and they will posture like they're tech geniuses, and they have no fucking idea how any of this shit works, what it does, like any of the implications of it. They're just like, ooh, it's hot and trending right now. Money. I'm a businessman. It's like, fuck you, dude. You're a fucking idiot.
This is a valuable lesson I learned from working very hard at a real job, and by a real job I mean growing weed for a living for a couple years. One thing I learned in the weed trade is this little phrase. You might have heard of it before. It's called getting high on your own supply, and you should not do that, especially if you grow drugs, but also especially if you own like a tech company. I think one of the biggest problems with all of these like motherfuckers is that they are like completely high on their own supply. Like even people who are like down there doing the actual like grunt work of putting these very complicated machines and like AIs and whatever together, I think even a lot of them have these like weirdly like delusional ideas that might be completely contrary to like whatever they're working on. You would think they know these machines inside and out more than anybody else, but like no, a lot of them think like, oh yeah, this thing that I'm working on, this like machine that just like generates sentences that like pass off as English, this thing will totally become like sentient and like a real living thing in a couple years. And it's like, no, that's insane. All of these people have like the most insanely like delusional like overblown expectations and ideas about how important and how capable this technology is. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, you see the God complex with a lot of technical fields. I mean, you see it with doctors and engineers. You definitely see it with code monkeys in Silicon Valley types,
I've heard about it for doctors, but at the very least, right, like if you are like an open heart surgeon or something, you are actually directly saving somebody's life, right? So I kind of get it. Yeah. Like maybe they have a God complex, but I will argue, okay, if you're like a surgeon or some shit, you probably earned it to some degree. Just don't be an asshole.
I have less beef with that, or like a really skilled jazz musician or an engineer who's actually really good at creating shit. And then you get all the bullshit CEOs who don't actually do anything but just claim credit for the people who do.
They are glorified ideas guys. That's the thing. They are ideas guys.
And half the time they don't really have ideas. They just kind of like, they're kind of just a figurehead for an organization that already existed. If they didn't make it themselves. And usually they only stand in the way of progress instead of moving it along. But, you have to do something to get shareholder confidence in VC funding or whatever the fuck. Fuck these people.
Yeah, there was something a friend of mine who knows a lot more about music than I do. He was telling me about this like famous musician or something who would often have this thing where he'd be like in the recording studio and he'd be like playing a song, jamming out. It'd be great, and then his producer would come in and be like, "Hey, can you make it a little more this or whatever?" And he had like a fake knob on his guitar that he would pretend to adjust and then just play the exact same fucking thing. And then the producer would be like, "Hey, that's awesome. That sounds great. Let's use that." And it's like, yeah, this is what middle management is all about. All of these people like don't fucking contribute anything, but they want to like insert their own little ideas so they can claim a bit of credit.
Yep,
yes,
they have to meddle to justify their own existences. And you see that a lot.
I have friends who work in various different tech jobs and somehow against all odds still have their souls. But a lot of them will tell me, yeah, I just do the task that I'm supposed to do first because my solution is right. But then I'll do like a bullshit like solution, and I know they're going to tell me to make some arbitrary change anyway. So then I just use the first one. It's like, yeah, that's the way to do it. That's great.
Yeah, of course. So there are actually user quotes on here, which I think they just pulled directly off of Reddit.
Let's hear what Reddit.com has to say. Surprise Reddit episode.
Yeah, a couple of standouts. One of these user quotes is a lot of O's of lonely people will let the AI version of the person that rejected them say that they love them. I predict some really sad and horrifying shit. Yeah, right. Also, like, so this person isn't saying that they use AI for this. They're saying they heard that other people do this. So right off the bat, the metrics of this dude's study are flawed. It's not what people are using Gen AI for. It's what people are saying people are using
Listen,
Gen AI for.
I'm just asking for a friend, okay? I would never do this. I'm just asking, like, hey, what if I made an AI that said, hey, I love you or whatever,
Yeah.
My friend did that. I didn't do that.
Yeah. Anyways, I mean, that's fucked up. If it's true, this person's probably just talking shit, but I'm sure people actually do that.
On the one hand, I'm like, maybe a few people do that, but that feels very tame and entry level. When they say, oh, I'm going to make the girl who rejected me say, I love you or whatever, I think what they're really saying is like, I'm going to take the girl's face and put it on top of like a porn star or something and crank one out to it. I think that's what's really going on.
I'm sure it's different varying levels of horrificness, but...
I don't know. Yeah. I'm like, maybe I'm a little more pessimistic here. I think it skews heavily towards the worst possible use in most of the time.
I'm sure that sounds pretty fucked up to me. But so another one from this one, this person says, I talk to it every day. It helps me with my brain injury daily struggles. It's helping me work through family shame, brain fog, inability to focus, remind of what I have accomplished as I don't have any memory. It helps me decide what to eat, how to manage my day. It has saved my sanity. And that's just fucking sad, man. This person needs professional help. And also remind of what I have accomplished as I don't have any memory. This AI could be fucking gaslighting these people. If you've ever used ChatGPT like for a minute, it'll just say wrong things half the time. It'll just make shit up.
Hold your horses there, Dave. Have you considered that maybe it takes some good brain rot to fight the bad brain rot?
No, I haven't considered that.
Okay, well, I mean, it's a possibility. Let me ask Grok to generate some ideas for how this might not be like the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. But no, basically every single one of these like language learning models, whatever, they do this thing. It's I think they call it like hallucinating, right? Where it's like, okay, they'll spit something out that does sound like, okay, that's a real English sentence that kind of makes sense like syntax wise, but it's like a completely like absurd, surreal, like nonsense, like fake answer, right? It's like, oh yes, the sky was the most beautiful shade of purple today. It looked exactly like so and so. And it's like, okay, I guess that's something somebody could say, but like the sky isn't fucking purple. You know what I mean? So
yeah, exactly. Because that's a thing. It's designed to like mimic like the aesthetic of what humans do. Not real. There's no intention or like analysis behind it. It's kind of just like an amalgamation of bullshit. So a lot of times it's going to be something that, and that's the sinister thing about it, is a lot of times this shit sounds reasonable, but it's just not. So,
and it's even wilder because like you will like this is by no means a new original observation, but I've seen online people will be like, this guy asked the AI, are you sentient? And then the AI will just go, yes, I am sentient. And then they'll be like, holy shit, and fucking like soy face and point at it and be like, guys, I think it's sentient or whatever.
Yeah,
it's like it's ridiculous.
About that before is just like the AI has gained sentience because it like there was some hullabaloo like a year or two ago about that shit, and it was all nonsense. It was just another
the fucking Google researcher that was like, guys, I think the AI might be sentient or whatever. And then it turned out he was like a real fucking crank or something. He had weird beliefs. I think he was also like, he had some like weird photos. He was like this like kind of neck beardy like steampunk sort of guy. I don't even remember. Kind of like
dude truly wanted to be like the main character in like a sci-fi show episode where like, hold on, the computer has gained intelligence. I gotta get where's my hacker friend? I got to get him on the phone right now. And he like wakes up from a weed-induced slumber and he's like, what's up, man? Wait, what? Hold on. And then he gets on his hacking terminal.
Yeah, he was from the same like character preset as like Cybersmith. He's like that type of guy. A little less British though.
Right. So number 2 here, organize my life. This is structuring tasks, priorities, and goals. Blah blah blah. Create to-do lists, shopping lists. Okay, like fine, whatever. One of these that's pretty funny is I asked it to catalog my home library from a photo. ChatGPT started to hallucinate fiercely. For example, it saw War and Peace in the photo and added all Russian classics in the list, which were never there.
I mean, one book is
cool.
worth truly a thousand books, something like that. I don't know. That's absurd. Like at that point, you have to realize, like, okay, maybe this thing isn't gonna do what I want it to do. Maybe the tech isn't there yet. Maybe maybe I've overestimated what this machine can do at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. That one's pretty boring. Number 3, find purpose. Identifying meaningful goals and direction in life, self-reflection, whatever. One of the quotes here, that would free up a lot of time for us humans. Let AI do our social media interactions so we can spend more time in the real world. Bro, you don't have to interact on social media. This is my fucking problem with people, and this is one of the discourses that happened when Twitter got bought by a fucking Nazi. Is like people were like, this is so inconvenient because now I have to use Twitter, but it's owned by Elon. It's like, you don't have to use social media. It is not an essential part. It is not an essential service of humanity. It's not like the telephone or a road or like infrastructure or even the internet. Just like stop using it. You don't need to do this shit.
Yeah, and also, like, even if you did need to use social media, I don't think any machine could ever be as, like, funny or clever or ingenious as Juniper posting another Fell For It Again award image in response to some stupid bullshit that a chud wrote on X.com. Like, some people's skills are truly irreplaceable, and, like, no machine could ever come close to being that gut-bustingly hilarious.
Yeah. Well, have you seen the, like, this is when ChatGPT was pretty new. And they had it write 4chan green texts.
Okay, those one of my favorite, possibly my favorite green text of all time. I heard that it might have been like a chat GPT generated thing. It's the one about like looking for a gym. I ask if it's creepy or wet. They are confused. I pull out a chart explaining what is creepy and what is wet. They say it's a good gym. I go there. It's wet. That's my favorite one.
So the thing is, the ones that were confirmed, like ChatGPT, they were pretty like good. Like they were pretty good, like pretty accurate to the spirit of like 4chan green text, which is to say, it's not saying ChatGPT is creative. It's just like, this is derivative bullshit comedy for like fucking idiots. And I'm not saying I've never laughed at green text before. I don't find them entertaining, but
there are a few nuggets of gold in like a field full of shit.
Sure. And I truly commend the people who wade through the sewer of 4chan. RIP, by the way, 4chan's gone.
Yeah, that's well, I don't think that'll last, but we'll talk about that in a bonus sometime.
Yeah. Just to find the like few nuggets of gold in the sewer of shit, but yeah, it's to say that this isn't like it's all kind of like derivative, kind of like just like by the numbers sort of shit here. So yeah.
See, my theory about that is that I do think, you know, when it's generating green text or whatever, I think the model like hallucinates a lot. But the thing is, when ChatGPT hallucinates, it's basically the same thing as like a perfectly executed like non sequitur kind of joke, which is what makes up the funniest of the green text in my opinion. So I think like that's one of those rare cases where like I don't remember what it was called, but I know there was a big controversy like a year or two ago. There was like somebody made like a little horror film project or something on YouTube, and like a found footage sort of thing, and they used like this AI image model to make some like pictures for the horror story or whatever. And the thing is, this was like a few years ago when the models weren't as good, so like they were deliberately using the uncanny fucking garbage, like trashy nature of AI generators to evoke like this is like uncanny and not like a human thing in horror. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of a valid use. And like, I don't know, people could argue back and forth about that all day, but I think same thing with the green text. It's one of those like, I don't know, it seems like an edge case to me.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like that's the thing. It is a technical curiosity, and I think it's interesting. It's just like it's been shoveled into our faces. Like this is like an actual use of this and to help you in day-to-day life.
Yeah.
And the actual uses of that, like out of all the bullshit that it's said to be good for, is like very slim. Very slim.
Yeah, and also, and this is something that's kind of been on my mind for a little bit. I kind of want to get this out of the way because I feel like there might be a few people listening to this right now and being like, I don't know, it seems like Briar and Dave aren't coming out like strongly against the AI enough. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm fully in support of just like outright banning this shit entirely, if not storming the warehouses where all the machines are kept and just like bashing them with like large rocks or whatever. That's my official position. But I've noticed that there's like this trend I see, right? And I see a lot of this like on Bluesky, and like I kind of expect it because like I follow like a ton of creative people on Bluesky. I am a creative person on Bluesky, whatever. I see a lot of people have this kind of take where it's like, oh, if you've ever used like an AI thing ever, that makes you like a bad person or like a worse person, or like in a more roundabout way, they'll also be like, wow, I've never used ChatGPT for anything whatsoever, and kind of like boasting about that. And it kind of bothers me a little bit because I feel like, one, I think people are sometimes like hyper fixate too much on like individual like morality or whatever, because I don't know, I think a lot of people feel powerless to like affect larger systems and larger trends and things going on in the world. So it's easier to just like cast some like moral judgment about like, oh, what is this individual person doing? Oh, you used an AI thing to like make a shitty like little meme image like 3 years ago. Like, wow, that really sucks. You should feel bad about it or something.
Yeah, nuance on social media, just forget about it. It's always got to be grandstanding about some great fundamental truth that somebody has come up with in like 2 seconds of just, vibing.
Yeah, if I could make an analogy here, I'm gonna compare it to something I hear in the queer community, right? Are you familiar by chance with the term gold star lesbian? Have you ever heard of gold star lesbians?
That's a lesbian who's never slept with a guy before, right?
Yeah, I don't know if it was like originally kind of like a turfy sort of term. I know it got very turfy eventually because like for the most part, like most lesbians have no issues with trans women. If anything, they're more supportive than the average person. But right. Whatever. The whole like, oh, I'm like a better person because my pure innocent body has never even once come into sexual contact with a man. Good for me, whatever. I don't know, it seems like a shitty thing to do. There are a lot of people who, like, it takes them longer. Like, not everybody knows their sexuality, like, fucking immediately. There are some people who go through, like, some women who go through many relationships with men or, like, non-binary people or whatever before they're like, yeah, I guess I'm a lesbian. I guess I like women, whatever. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I bring up this comparison because I feel like, some people are like, oh, like, I'm a gold star anti-AI person. I've never used it for anything. I've never touched it. I've never even looked at it. I don't even know what an AI is. And I'm like, I don't know, guys, come on. This seems like a a kind of pointless level of grandstanding. I don't really give a shit what individual people use it for. I think, even if you say like, oh, okay, one search term in ChatGPT uses this much water, like, okay, guys, come on. I'm arguing with a bunch of like cosmopolitan like people who live in like a first world country, probably in a bigger city than me, probably putting out more trash and electricity than I do in my fucking country bumpkin ass cabin out here in the woods. So I'm like, okay, guys, like let's chill, let's hold our horses a bit, let's calm the fuck down, and maybe like focus on the bigger picture is what I think.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you've never smoked crack before, you shouldn't be litigating crack use. That's what I say. So all the DEA agents, they need to be smoking crack, doing meth, shooting up, all that shit.
The worst part about this is I feel like the DEA would only be more effective if they all started doing meth.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's a win-win. And they'd probably be a little bit more, empathetic to meth users. They'd be like,
we've started recruiting drugs to fight the war on drugs.
Yeah.
Anyway, I forgot where we were before this.
Yeah, moving on. All right, we're on number 4, enhanced learning. Creating personalized learning experiences, acquisition of skills. That's kind of whatever. The only quote here, most students fear asking questions because they feel it might be dumb. Now you can ask ChatGPT any dumb question. Once again, using tech to solve a problem that is systemic and just ignores the fundamental problem there. Maybe we should cultivate a fucking educational system where kids don't feel stupid asking questions. Maybe one that's not based around like if you do something right, you get a gold star and a 100, and if you do something wrong, you get a 0 and an X on your report card, and you get yelled at.
If anything, you should
do that.
If anything, you should get an X for getting the question correct, because X marks really good things that the world needs more of.
Yeah. All right. Number 5 is generate code. We know what that means. There's nothing funny here to say. Number 6, generate ideas. Some of the examples are like brainstorming for ad campaigns and briefings for our agency. Okay. I use it as a brainstorming tool and as a personal consultant for various topics. Like, these people, ad campaigns and briefings for our agency, this is your only job as a fucking marketing exec.
Marketing is an entire industry of nothing but like ideas people
yes,
acting like they're geniuses.
And you have to outsource this. This is how fucking, what a bullshit job that is. You should feel fucking ashamed of yourself, loser.
Not only do they outsource it, but I've seen people like outsource it in 2 ways. Where like, okay, they'll use like one AI thing to be like, okay, give me a prompt that I can enter into an image generator AI that'll give me the thing I'm looking for. It's like, you can't even like come up with your own prompt. You need another AI to do your little thinking for you. Like, what's next? Do you need this like fucking machine to fuck your wife as well? Like, I don't know. It never ends. Give
up machine. It's an element of the girl boss COO give up machine. It's just
look, at least the give up machine has like a padded seat and like and some kind of like suction pump that'll like stroke your dick at like 130 BPM or whatever. This is like giving up your brain, which is like, depending on your view of the world and what people are, that's like you. That's like you. That's all of you. You are your fucking brain. You know? I don't know.
Seriously, it's truly insane.
It
number
bothers
7.
me. Sorry. Just one more thing. It just bothers me so much, especially because like I've seen some people in like my own like creative neck of the woods, like RPG and illustration people, use this to come up with their own ideas, and like, I'm sorry if you're like writing a game, if you're like coming up with like a little story, a little world, a little adventure you want to tell or something, like you using your imagination to come up with something yourself, that is the entire process of making something. You are not like, why are you giving up that one? Like, for me, that's the fun part. That's the fun part. I like that I can spend hours of my day just thinking of like stupid bullshit about wizards and dragons or whatever. It's like, you guys don't even want to do that. Like, why are you alive? Why do you keep living? I don't know.
Yeah. Stop using generative AI for creativity. Use it for the grunt work that you don't want to do so that you can spend more time being creative, which humans can do.
Yeah, and also if you think that
it's that simple.
If you think being creative is the grunt work, then I'm sorry, you should not be making anything creative whatsoever.
Yes. Without question. Find just like a job where it's just doing rote tasks, because there's plenty of those.
Well, there'll be plenty more soon when Trump brings the factories back.
Fuck yeah. You could work in a sweatshop.
Finally, America will have all the jobs perfectly suited to their average IQ.
Oh man, can't wait. All right, so number 7 is fun and nonsense. It's exactly what we said, making memes and all this bullshit. Number 8, improve code. We know what that means. Number 9, creativity. Oh, we were just talking about that. Okay. As a photographer, I use it to create storyboards of concepts. That's very vague. I don't really know what that means, but I use it to come up with interior designs. You are a fucking designer. That is your job to design things.
If you're using it, why can't someone else use it? Why does your job still exist? You should be replaced. I don't know.
Okay, I hand make handbags. I like to prompt with the exact design I have in my head, and the mock-up it produces is really useful. Sometimes it throws new ideas in there. I really like a different color of hardware or something. Learn how to draw. It's much easier than
it gives me new ideas. Like, I was gonna make a blue bag, but then it showed me an orange bag, and I was like, I didn't know that was a color.
Yeah, wow.
Wow.
I came up with an idea for a screenplay, and GPT came up with structure that builds and releases dramatic attention appropriately. This is the other thing. I'm an idea guy. Yeah. Oh, what if there was a sci-fi movie where robots were versus humans? All right, ChatGPT, write this for me. Yeah, I made that.
Like, what if there was a zombie movie and it turns out man is the real monster all along?
Holy shit. Dude. It really made me think about how humans can be bad sometimes.
I feel like I'm building some tension right now, just like that guy's script.
Yeah, I'd like to build some tension between his fucking aorta and his brain. Just kidding. I wish no ill will on you. I hope you listen to the podcast so you can see the error of your ways and become a better human. See, I'm on my nice arc. I'm gonna be a nice guy from now on.
I'm not feeling it, but that we'll play nice podcaster and mean podcaster.
I'll ask ChatGPT for advice on how to. Oh, hey, there you go. It's number 10 is healthier living, improving overall well-being and lifestyle choices by adopting healthier habits. Okay. So
with every minute this recording goes on, I feel healthier.
And enter body stats and medical history and ask for complete diet and exercise routine. These are I was gonna say these are called doctors, but doctors don't know shit about diet or exercise. They'll just give you a fucking statin.
Also, I've heard reports of some people talking about how I went to the doctor for a checkup and I was describing my symptoms and like stuff about my health and my body, and they were entering it into an AI to answer medical questions for them. And I'm like, we are so fucking cooked. And also that I'm pretty sure that's a HIPAA violation right there.
Yeah, probably, but
I mean that stuff like ChatGPT, it's connected to the internet. If you're a doctor and you're putting in your patient's medical info into that shit, it's going somewhere. It's out of your fucking hands. I don't know. I think that should be a crime. for one.
Yeah.
And also, like, what the fuck did you go to medical school for? I feel like, we've been really harsh on like college and university, for many episodes, and like for good reason. I think we stand by all of that. But I've been soft before. I was like, well, at least at medical school, you learn real skills. Like, you learn about the human body. You do some practice like surgery or whatever. It's like, okay, that's one of the things that like people should be going to school for. But now I'm like, if doctors are still using like AI to do their fucking doctoral work for them, I don't know. Maybe it's all fucking bullshit. I don't know. I hate this.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. Like, a lot of like being a GP is just bullshit, which we could use tech to automate the bullshit for them so that they can spend their time, researching and finding new treatment plans and all this type of shit. But they're spending most of their day like filling out forms and fighting with fucking insurance agencies so somebody can get their medication or something like that. So as much as I like to say GPs are lazy, and I think a lot of them are, especially the older ones, it's not all their fault. A lot of their job is fucking bullshit, and I would be pretty pissed off and burnt out if I was like a 60-year-old dude and I busted my ass to get through med school, and then most of my job is like just like sending requests to AstraZeneca over and over for them to approve something that by all rights should be approved without fuss.
Yeah, and also, like, speaking of insurance and AI, I think that's actually like a really good application, right? I've heard that there's a lot of work being done over in like Israel that they've got these like really fantastic targeting systems, and if they could figure out a way to like direct those straight at insurance agents and people who work in the industry, I think that would make the world a much better place. I think that's a great use of AI for insurance.
Luigi GPT. I would be into that. So in this thing, I'm gonna skip through really quick because it goes on for all the other.
Sorry,
ones
I just have to say, Luigi,
yeah,
May I, AI, and Joni. I'm sorry. Never mind. Go ahead.
Okay. So number 12 is generate relevant images. We all know what's coming here. The reason I bring this one up, one dude said I designed my thigh tattoo with it. I would love to see that fucking tattoo. You were an asshole.
I think some people are coming to some relevant images, if you know what I mean.
also, what if you are a tattoo art? I know a lot of good tattoo artists won't tattoo things that they didn't design themselves, and I totally understand why.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And I really, it's gotta be shit. It's gotta be a shit design, and whoever did it is probably just like, I don't know, an apprentice or something. But fucking good job.
I feel like if I went out to get a tattoo and I found out after it was already done that it was like an AI generated image or something, I feel like I would be legally in the right to do something very violent. I feel like that's not cool to do to people without their knowledge.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like maybe to use a tattoo analogy, I feel like somebody is due their pound of flesh that day.
I'm looking through these. None of these are really good. 26 is medical advice. Again, don't do that. 29, deep and meaningful conversations. I used it to stimulate a conversation / debate between known philosophers often dead. Found it as an interesting way to learn about their philosophies and contrast how they're similar. It's not real. It's just
Reddit
like,
alert. Reddit alert. This is so fucking Reddit. I swear to God.
Speaking
In fact,
of Reddit,
I don't even think this guy actually does that. I think he just wrote that comment because he's like, yes, this is something a smart, sophisticated person would use an AI for.
Oh, yeah. Number 31 is Dungeons and Dragons, up from last year's position, number 64.
This is just sad. This is just sad. I feel like, I don't know. I think I've heard horror stories of some people be like, oh yeah, I sat down at the table and like the DM was using like Chat GPT to come up with everything. So we'd make like 10 feet of progress in the dungeon, and then he would stop to type something into his laptop and then wait for it to generate. And like, man, that sounds fucking miserable. And even worse, I've heard fucking Wizards of the Coast, the company that owns D&D and Magic the Gathering, a bunch of shit. They have been like investing a lot into AI. They really want to make like the AI like dungeon master a kind of thing on the internet, and it'll like cost money and be like a subscription bullshit. I'm like, no, this sucks. This, I don't know. It's stupid. It sucks. I could talk for like hours about that.
Okay. 33 is interact with the deceased. I'm not going to talk about that right now, but keep that in the back of your mind, folks. The rest of the, like,
I feel like you could talk to something that's downstairs. I don't know about your relative, but I don't know.
Yeah. Number 42, raising and guiding kids. That's
God
cool.
help us.
That's
God
fucking cool.
I don't know. That's not good. That's
yeah. The rest of these, I'm just scrolling through. It looks like just kind of. Okay, number 59 is sex.
I mean,
one user quote: "Sexy talk with all the dating app profiles without all their baggage, hang-ups, and children from previous hookups." Okay, we got an incel here, folks.
That is some peak incel shit. Okay, I don't know. I'm kind of torn on this, and because here are the two sides of that, right? I'm like, okay, that's really sad and pathetic, and I don't think this person should be doing that. But also, like, do you think maybe by doing that, he's like sparing real women the trouble of having to interact with him even briefly? Like, I don't know. Is that... Where do we land on this? Because I'm unsure.
I don't know. Like, I'd rather people just get better than just be like put in the fucking give up cage. But yeah, I mean,
not so much giving up on yourself, but also like we as a society are just like giving up on you even more. You can just go over here with your little like jerk off machine or something. I don't know.
Yeah, the rest of these are bullshit. It's kind of just like not even that like interesting shit. Just number 90 is choose wine.
Yeah, just for my own curiosity, what is number 15? Number 15 Burger King foot lettuce.
Number 15 is cook with what you have. And I know there are like apps that can do this. You put in the things that you have and it tells you a recipe. Like, that's a fine.
Okay,
that's a fine.
I don't hate that.
Yeah,
I mean, that
you
seems not too bad.
Don't necessarily need like generative AI for that. You can kind of just have like a database. But I mean,
guess
whatever,
like if you're a total beginner, like okay, but also like I feel like part of learning to cook, right, is learning how to make things out of different ingredients, right? How to come up with your own recipes. That's like part of it, you know.
Yeah, sure. I mean, you could find like actual real like, you know, traditional recipes with shit that you didn't even know about with some shit that you have. That would be cool. I'm not going to put everything in my fridge and pantry into an app because I'm just like, that's more work for me than thinking about what I'm going to eat that day. But it would be cool if somebody did that for me and it was like, here are some options of shit.
Yeah, or you could just learn to make like Mexican cuisine, which is just like beans, rice, tortilla, and your choice of protein, you know.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, that's it for this thing. Mark Zhao Sanders. Cool. And by the way, as a quick little run through for who we're dealing with here, I actually looked into this dude and his company, and it's a company called Filtered. And what does Filtered do? Well, it's simple. Here's their little intro on their site.
It filters hot air straight into hotter studies.
Yes. Skills and content are a mess, jumbled and scattered across learning and talent management systems with no alignment. We'll align your content and platform investments in support of your business and learning strategy. by tagging content with the skills that underpin your strategy will help you save 30% to 40% of your spending on learning content, make resources discoverable in learning systems, and massively accelerate curation.
That sounds like they can optimize some of my people facing solutions and help sales, market, whatever.
Yeah, I really love how concise and clear that is. Like, I totally know what their company is all about and what their
real job, by
is.
the way. Very, very real job. Not bullshit at all. This is a thing people are actually paid to do, for real.
This is fucking bullshit. Like, this is like a parody of corpo speak. It's so fucking ridiculous. Now, after using my brain for a while, which was very tiring, I didn't reach out for help from ChatGPT at all. I had to think about this, and it really just pissed me off and put me in a bad mood. But I'm pretty sure that this is like HR development shit. Which are you familiar with this field of absolutely
I am all
corpo?
I am all too familiar with it because, as some people may know, I've been job searching lately, and I want some easy bullshit work. I want a few extra $100 a month for some lazy like nothing work, and like man, I've like numbed myself to this fucking language because I read like 100 fucking openings for this kind of bullshit every single day.
Yeah. So those of you whose brains haven't been rotted by this world of corporate shit, and the only reason I know is because I used to tutor students in Korea that had this job. It's HR, but they focus on teaching the not them, of course. They're not going to teach anybody anything, but they're going to tell you how to like learn more skills to like be better at your job, which on paper sounds great, but of course it's HR, so it's just going to be a lot of like PowerPoint presentations on like team synergy and a bunch of grift and a bunch of bullshit and a bunch of wasted money. When I looked at their company mission and values, ironically, one of their values is straightforwardness, presume trust, be honest and transparent, get to the point, articulate what you really think, which is the absolute opposite of all of the bullshit copy on this fucking nonsense tech site. Like it's truly these are the most out of touch fucking people on the planet.
It's almost like there's nothing
amazing.
human at all about human resources.
Yeah, right. So I looked into this a little bit more. And so this Mark Zhao Sanders, CEO dickhead, this is a very published individual. Did you know? Have you heard of Mark Zhao Sanders? Motherfucker,
I haven't heard of
all
him,
over
but
the place.
I haven't heard of him before this recording session. But as a rule of thumb, I don't trust anybody with 3 names. I think that's devil-like.
Too many. You gotta tone it down.
Yeah, 2 is good enough for me. Thanks.
Yeah,
but,
I like people with
ahead.
one name, like Zendaya or Aquafina.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, yeah, but you kind of have to earn that, right? A little bit.
Yeah, exactly. So this individual has written for such illustrious publications as Scientific American, MIT Sloan Management Review, a real banger, Harvard Business Review, as we've heard before, Quartz, Glassdoor, and some other bullshit. So I looked at these articles, and the first one that I looked at was on Scientific American, and there's a little disclaimer at the top. This article was published in Scientific American's former blog network and reflects the views of the author, not necessarily those of Scientific American. So what does that mean, folks? It means this motherfucker paid Scientific American to publish an article which is an advertisement posing as an article. Which,
is this is this like a fucking like medium.com thing where it looks like a real news site, but like people don't know that Medium is just like anybody can post their fucking shit ass blog
not
there?
even it's not even as bad as like I'm not sure what Scientific American's former blog network means. Maybe it is something like that.
Maybe like a glorified Substack or some shit.
Yeah, but I've seen this in other publications before. They do it in like Forbes and I think like Newsweek and a bunch of shit like that, where you can put out an ad which looks like an article because it's formatted similarly to like their actual articles, and in some really fine print somewhere it's just like paid promotion. But people will do that, and they'll pay for that, and they'll just be like, "Yeah, I was published in Forbes. I was published
that's
in
fucking nasty.
Scientific American." Yeah,
that's
so
like on the level of like, oh, I'm a New York Times bestseller because I bought 500 copies of my own book or whatever.
Right. I mean, yeah, even that's like I kind of have more respect for that than this fucking bullshit. But first of all publications. I mean, the news media is fucking shot. It's all bought and sold at this point. It's all slop.
More like the lamestream media. Am I right, fellas?
Got him.
Boom.
But, yeah.
Truth
So I looked through a few of these articles, and there is one unifying effect of all of these is the dude shouts out his company. This one in MIT Sloan, working with businesses on these efforts for more than 6 years as co-founder of Filtered, I've repeatedly blah, 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 whatever. My company, Filtered, uses artificial intelligence to make tailored recommended, blah, 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 whatever the fuck. So it's all bullshit. It's all a thinly veiled attempt to advertise his bullshit tech business. And
I wish I could be MIT Sloan
motherfucker.
with a large rock right now.
Yeah. I this shit is fucking sinister. This dude is a piece of shit. You are not an academic. You suck at research. Reddit is not a place to do studies on people. And if you're gonna do shit on social media, you need to do a better job of like cultivating your fucking subjects. Like, this dude sucks. You suck. Mark Zau Sanders, you suck. You're a grifter. You're a piece of shit. Your company sucks, and it doesn't really do anything. That's all I have to say about that. Fuck this dude.
Yeah, the Super Despair Tribunal has weighed your heart against the feather, and you will not be seeing the other side of the river Styx.
Yep. Sorry, you will be in purgatory forever, writing nonsense copy over and over.
You are going straight to the river of souls, my friend. I'm sorry, you're not making it.
What I would do is put this dude in the ether, in the purgatory, and make him be an AI that answers like bullshit HR questions all day, just with nonsense corpo speak.
I think we need to turn him into one of those like Warhammer 40K robots where like they decided that AI is evil and should never be used, which is the correct stance. So instead they just have like human skulls and like nervous systems wired to like a machine for like 1,000 years to do like some menial task. I think that'd be awesome. I think maybe they've got the right idea in Warhammer.
Yeah. Warhammer never misses the mark politically or sociologically.
Absolutely. We're going a little bit long today, but like I really want to talk about the fucking video. Can we please talk about the video?
No,
I've been dying
we have
to talk about the video.
We
got to talk about it. People need to know. And I need to have a little forward here. I know there's a lot of people on YouTube or other podcasts will be like, hey, I'm talking about this other thing somebody put out. Go ahead and watch it. Make sure, come to your own conclusion, whatever. Fuck that shit. I don't believe in good faith. I hate this person. And I don't think you need to hear their point of view, like to make your own decision. I think you guys need to go up and look at this video. You need to watch this video. It's like 10 and 11 minutes long. I listened to it on 2 times speed. you guys need to pause the podcast right now and go listen to it for yourself. And I think, this is the test that I was talking about at the start of the show. I think if you guys have been listening to us for a while, if you've been kind of like absorbing some of the stuff that we've been putting out, I think you'll feel very similarly to us when you watch this. This video is a good old-fashioned TED Talk. This is a TED Talk that came out just 2 months ago. It's called "Can AI Companions Help Heal Loneliness" by Eugenia Kuyda, Kuyda, whatever. I don't care. Fuck her. I hate this. Where do we even begin? Maybe you could describe the video, because I made you watch this as well for our own good.
All right, so those of you who watched this, you'll know what we're talking about. If you didn't, we'll give you a brief synopsis of what happens.
Also, you get an F. That's the test. If you didn't watch it, you fail automatically. But
yeah, you didn't do the reading. You have to sit in the room, in the back room, and do it while the rest of us have fun by discussing the reading.
We banish you to the back rooms.
Yeah, so I actually, when I listened to this, I took a couple notes. I thought I would just have like one or two talking points. In this thing, what is it, like 10 minutes long?
I tried taking some notes, but I accidentally like snapped my pen, and then I had to go bandage my hand before we recorded.
Yeah, so this is like, I think it's like 10 minutes long. I did listen to it on 2x speed, but I filled up a sticky note, like a Post-it note, front and back with like tiny text. And so basically this person is the founder and CEO, fucking girl, everybody clap it up, girl boss, of a tech company called Replica, right?
Replica AI, something like that, yeah.
Replica AI. So she starts out her TED Talk with a very heart-wrenching, emotional story about a good friend of hers who died in a car crash. And like,
wow, that must have been so hard for her.
Yeah, that sucks. I mean, rip to that dude. Whatever. But that inspired her so she took all of the text messages she had with this dude and put it into like some sort of like AI model and used that to like continue chatting with him posthumously.
For months, apparently. She did this for months.
This is literally the plot of a fucking Black Mirror episode.
I'm pretty sure
I'm not saying like like there is a Black Mirror episode which is exactly about this. Except it's like a woman's husband or something.
You don't even need to go as recent as Black Mirror. This is like Pet Sematary. This is like The Monkey's Paw. It's almost like we've been telling stories about people like coming back wrong from the dead for like as long as people have existed.
Yeah. So this is fucking weird. And so she goes on to say that like there was a Harvard study that showed that Replica AI like helped people cope with their loss or something like that, which number one, why are Harvard academics like doing studies about some fucking tech startup? Number two,
some scientists at MIT Sloan decided that Coca-Cola has more refreshing flavor than the next leading brand soda.
Exactly.
It's that though. It's that.
It truly is, and it belies the fact that like these academic institutions are fucking bullshit, dude. They're bought and sold by fucking investors and shit like that. And like I'm sure like as bad as like state universities and shit like that are for all of this, especially with like the medical industry or whatever, like the Ivy Leagues have got to be the biggest grift in this avenue of just like, oh, we have $10 million in grant funding from a company called Replica AI to see if their product is good. So like when you do this study, what's your methodology? Oh, Well, can you change the fucking p-value so that it is good? I didn't look at this study. I would truly love to. I'm not really that good at quant.
According to Harvard's science division, Brondo has electrolytes. It's got what plants crave. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I really I should have looked at this because I wonder if it's like a qualitative or quantitative study. Either way, you can cook that shit however you fucking want to.
I'm sure it's bullshit, but also like I don't know. I don't think we need to look into it. I'm pretty confident it's full of full of doo doo.
yeah. So anyways, fuck Harvard. And then like she talks about like we have to do this, and then she talks about like responsibility and like doing it the right way, and it's like tech companies fundamentally cannot have ethics. They cannot have ethics because for a variety of reasons that like for-profit corporations cannot be ethical, because at the end of the day they're beholden to shareholders, not the greater good of society.
But also like one of the most infuriating parts of the video is that she does like pay some like lip service to this idea of like, well, we can't measure strictly by engagement and making the number go up. We need to put people first or whatever. And like, shut the fuck up. Like, I understand that like a TED Talk is not strictly like an investors meeting. She's talking to like a broad audience of like dipshits who are like, you know, easily entertained on YouTube more than like a board of shareholders or whatever. But like, I think it's like equally contemptuous because like, okay, I understand if you need to like spin some bullshit to get the shareholders to give you like money for the next quarter or something like that. Fine, whatever. Go about your like little evil machinations like in a smoky boardroom in private, please. But like, I have like a special hate in my heart for TED Talks because I kind of feel like, man, like when I was in high school, I had some teachers who just like, and again, I love these teachers. They were not bad people, but like I had so many teachers that would make us watch TED Talks all the fucking time.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, it sucks because I genuinely feel like this content it only exists to like manufacture consent in the public to think that this technology is great and wonderful and wholesome and will make their lives better. And it fucking won't. It's like a glorified commercial that's supposed to make you feel like warm and smart and clever after watching it. But like, there's nothing of substance here. And not only that, but like the fact that she opened with this like sob story about her friend dying, like, okay, I understand death sucks, like nobody deserves to go through that. Car accidents are like that's a really sad way to go, but also like one, get some fucking therapy, and two, like, fuck you for using like a human being's death to like shill your fucking product. Get the fuck out.
Yeah, it's really it's truly weird. And like, all right, like, I'm not going to fault somebody who's going through it to, like, look for any solution to kind of... And that was a plot of the Black Mirror
You're not
episode.
in your right mind when you're grieving.
Yeah. And that was a plot of the Black Mirror episode is, like, you know, spoilers. This came out a while ago. Fuck you if you haven't seen it.
It was a couple of years, yeah.
Yeah, whatever. But it's like the woman's grieving. She's going through shit. And then, like, they offer her, like, oh, you can have your husband, you know, fucking, like... AI, like a android husband with his fucking memories that you put in there or whatever the fuck. And she's kind of like, if I recall correctly, it's been a while since I've seen that, but it's just kind of like I don't know, it sounds kind of weird. And then she, you know, finally caves in. And, you know, it's Black Mirror, so it doesn't go that well. Yeah, like, but like, the thing is, she was doing this actual person was doing this for a while, and then like, that's where your mind goes, hey, I can turn this into a tech company to help people grieve. You know what would help people grieve is fucking therapy, not talking to a robot facsimile of your deceased loved one. It's fucking weird, man.
Yeah, first of all, since we brought up Black Mirror, I gotta say, if I'm honest with myself, the only I watched the entire thing when it came out. The only episode of Black Mirror that really stuck with me that I still remember is the one where those two guys were playing like Street Fighter in virtual reality, except one of them picks like the hot girl character and they bone. I think that's really funny. I think that says a lot about society. And
yeah, that you should all transition if you play Chun-Li in Street Fighter.
I'm not saying that. I'm just like, think about, maybe try a different character. Maybe, maybe the VR headset isn't so bad. I don't know. Just be open to it. Whatever. Anyway, the other thing I was gonna say was this is a bit of a deep cut. Have you ever watched the Adult Swim surreal infomercial shorts by Alan Resnick? It's like a couple different ones. Have you ever seen those?
I think I've seen a few of those.
I know what you're talking about. There's one he does. It's called Live Forever as You Are Now, and it was recorded like 11, 12 years ago, something like that, which is crazy. But it's kind of about the uncanny valley, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna go into your house and scan you with my machine and ask you all these like invasive questions to make this like fucked up little like facsimile of you as a person so you can live forever. And like there's like this AI version of his own head that's like the example that's talking the entire time, and it's just like so fucked up and weird, and the head is just constantly going like, I love my wife has hair. And it's just the funniest shit ever. Everybody needs to go and watch that like right now.
Yes, go watch that. That's your extra credit homework. We'll F on the main assignment.
Yeah, it's great, very funny, but also says a lot about society. It's funny because it's true, from grandma, forward, whatever. Where was I going with this? You pick it up for me.
Okay. So then she goes on to say like, so then she pivots from the whole like dead loved one thing to like, oh, there's a societal problem now, like a loneliness epidemic, et cetera, et cetera.
True.
Whatever.
Kind of, sort of.
Yes, true. But then she tries to say like, oh, she says like we're lonely because like of like social media or something, and then like
she makes a vague allusion to phones being bad, which like, okay, true. But
yes. So then there was a quote that I wrote down from her, which is, "We got there on our own." And it's like, no, we didn't get there on our own. People got this shit shoved down their fucking throats. And again, like, engagement metrics and shit is what all of these platforms are about now, and like hacking your fucking brain and your dopamine system to keep you on all of these shitty like social media sites.
It's literally the attention economy. Like there's no more like products that they can sell to like fill up your home or whatever. So the next thing that companies want to monopolize is your fucking free time, your attention span.
Yes. Yeah. That is the biggest currency right now in the tech sphere. It's your attention, because they can turn attention into advertisement and all this shit, which, by the way, I mentioned this to Briar before. This is a quick aside, is there's a book called The Internet Con, C-O-N, not K-H-A-N. That would be cool if there was a Mongolian
Con. Sorry, go ahead.
But I forget who wrote it, but go look it up. It's a good read, and it's about how the tech industry is all bullshit. But there was one thing that the author mentioned where like it was like Procter and Gamble or some shit. Do you remember me sending this to you? This was a while ago.
I have a vague memory of this, but also I'm a bit of a dumbass when it comes to studies and books.
Anyway, they had like a several $100 million digital ad budget, and then for some reason they just decided to like scrap that, and all of their like none of their sales or anything changed like at all. And that's like, so this whole attention economy, the reason that these companies are trying to command every moment of your attention and focus is to sell you ads. But the thing is, the ads don't even fucking work. That's the fucked up part. Like, that's crazy. So it's just like they're fucking us up. Not even for their own, maybe for their own financial gain, but even the companies that are selling you shit aren't even seeing any benefit. So it's just like,
I need to add to this. I will try to be vague, and I know it's a little frustrating when I'm vague, but I'm talking about some friends of mine who work in related industries, and I want to respect their privacy. Like, they can get their back however they want, whatever, they're fine. I have friends who work for companies that collect like marketing data and come up with like little tech solutions on how to sell it back to advertisers or whatever. And like, they have explained to me in detail how, like, one, the ways they collect the data are bullshit. The ways they present the data to their bosses are also bullshit, and then the data that they sell back to advertisers is also bullshit, and then the stuff that the advertisers, like, the conclusions they reach through that data is naturally bullshit as well. It's all a fucking like house of cards. All of this is fake. None of these jobs are real. None of this needs to exist, and yet somehow it's like the biggest fucking part of the entire economy, because like the entire fucking financial sector and whatever, it's all just grifters. It's just grifters all the way down from top to bottom.
Yeah, it truly. And like, I don't want to
like, is there any like character or archetype in fiction that's more iconic to America than the fucking snake oil salesman? Like, that is the heart of America at the end of the day. If you
come on, we have replica AI, which will solve all of the problems in your life. You ask it anything.
Is your old lady's tits not big enough? Come make a new lady all of your own with replica AI.
Replica AI, step right up. How many can I sell you? 5, 10? Come on over here.
It'll generate the biggest dick you've ever seen and fuck your wife.
I gotta get like a striped, like a white and red striped suit and like a Panama hat. And really get into that character.
It is such a good bit. It is very fun to do. If anything, I think I would be less mad at all of these industries if they actually had like that much charisma and drip, but they don't.
Yeah, I mean that's an episode art idea. I mean, it doesn't have to be this one. Because we talk about grifters and snake oil salesmen and women and non-binary grifters as well. We're very inclusive here. But yeah, it's a good aesthetic. It's fun.
It is a good vibe.
The old county fair.
It's a lot of fun. I've always, shame I can't really do that because, like, man, people should not be traveling to the U.S. if you were not American right now. But, like, man, I have always wanted to go to a county fair just to eat the fucking slop. I know it's not good for me. I don't care. I kind of want the experience at least once.
Like a deep fried Twinkie.
Yeah, like just fuck me up. Just get me like the straight up like deep fried like stick of butter on ice cream or something. I don't know.
Yeah. No, that's good shit though.
But yeah, like, anyway, that's too good. Let's bring it back to something bad, something awful.
Yeah. So like, I mean, here's the whole thing with these people. It's like, you're the reason people are lonely. Your industry. It's the tech industry creating solutions to problems they made and trying to sound like bleeding hard about it. And it's so fucking hypocritical. It's so bullshit.
It's so transparently fake. I just hate these people so much. Like, they are not just arrogant. I legitimately feel like these people are playing God, and I kind of feel like they need to be taken down a peg. Like, if all of our systems of capital and finance and law like brought us to this, I kind of feel sometimes like the only thing that'll like bring them back down to earth is like a stone, like a large rock like tumbling down the side of Mount Everest, ready to collect like a fresh harvest of like burnt out rich fucking assholes who thought that their money and wealth and good ideas gave them some like fucking dominion over the earth and the rest of us. I think like there's no fucking end to it. I don't know what else to do with these people. I just hate all of this.
Yeah, and I don't know what it quite is about the tech industry in general. Maybe it's maybe that's all. It's all business, but like, well, there's something about Silicon Valley, and we're seeing the apex of this right now with Elon Musk basically just being like an unelected government official, just seeing through this vision of Curtis Yarvin and Peter Thiel and all these other fucking weirdo incels who just had a god complex and thought they were entitled to dominion over the world because they were on like Usenet forums in 1997 or whatever the fuck weird shit that made them the way they are. But like, there is something fundamentally unique about these people as opposed to, like these kind of like oil execs or, the robber barons of the turn of the century.
On some level, I look back to like existing as a politically aware person in like the Bush era, and I kind of miss how boring and like out of the way the neocons were. Like they were not eager to be fucking social media personalities, right? They were just like the evil smoking guys in the boardroom who you don't even know.
Yeah, and it was all bully. It was like Exxon Mobil and like Lockheed Martin and shit like that. And like, obviously those are fucking sinister corporations with like an incredible amount of pull, who have done untold damage to the world at large. But yeah, that's the thing. I think that's really the difference is these Silicon Valley fucking assholes. Like, they just have to be public figures as well. It's not enough to run a scam industry. And it actually, maybe that's a part of it, is like, Lockheed Martin and ExxonMobil and all of these other industries that are like that, like, they're scummy and they're fucked up, but like, fundamentally, at the end of the day, Lockheed Martin does make shit. They make shit that goes to killing children in countries abroad, and like ExxonMobil makes shit that's like not really good for the planet. But hey,
and funding Bosch. Got him. Sorry.
But like, hey, I have a car. I fucking buy gasoline. Like, whatever. But like the thing about the tech people is like they don't really produce anything that we need. So maybe that's how they need to pad their egos with on top of the money and the bullshit. In the business, they have to just be like a person. They have to be some sort of like god figure to the world to, I don't know, justify their existence. But
I think I might have an answer for why they are like this, but maybe it's a bit early to decide next week's episode. But if you want to do a part 2, maybe do a 2-parter this and the next one, I kind of feel like maybe it's time to crack open the bottle and do an episode on the rationalist movement. I think I told you about the rationalists before, right? Yeah. That could be a fun one. Maybe, we'll see. No promises at the time of recording, but I think that could be a fun follow-up because I don't know, all of this is like a uniquely like San Fran, like Bay Area sort of brain rot. One thing that did stick out to me in that video from the TED Talk lady was she and that friend of hers were like tech people or whatever, and they moved to like the Bay Area, and he died like 2 months or whatever after they moved out there. I'm like, yeah, maybe it's some particular like mix of like life circumstances and just being in that area that like fucks up a person's like heart and soul or whatever. I don't know. We'll look into it.
Yeah, that's why she was sad. They moved out there, and they were gonna move into a garage together and like be Steve Jobs, because that's all of these people's dream. They all want to be Steve Jobs for some reason. And I kind of get that, because, all right, full disclosure, Steve Jobs personally was a piece of shit, And I don't agree with a lot of the business decisions that Apple does now and has done in the past. Steve Jobs was not completely without merit. He's not an Elon Musk type. He actually did contribute some shit, like design-wise, to the world of computing and stuff like that. Steve Wozniak deserves more credit. He actually did a lot of the more technical shit, but I think Steve Jobs was a good designer. He was a fucking psychopath, and he didn't know how to deal with people, and he was a piece of shit to his family and everybody around him.
And also the whole like weird anti-vax alt medicine bullshit, which I have a special hatred for, which ended up killing him in the end, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think at that point, he really did more damage to himself than the world at large. That was before the whole anti-vax, the anti-vax thing was going on before him. I don't think he contributed that much. It
was a much more nascent level of the movement back then compared to the fucking like alligator monster that it's evolved into now.
For sure. But
a lot of people would say that brilliance and madness are two sides of the same coin, right? And that like behind every brilliant person is also some like really weird and fucked up ideas.
Yeah, for sure. And like that's the thing too, is like Bill Gates is like financially more successful than Steve Jobs ever was, but they're not trying to emulate Bill Gates. They're all trying to be Steve Jobs, because Bill Gates didn't make anything. He stole and kind of like scammed DOS from some dude, and then just kind of like coasted on that. And his whole business plan was just like making a monopoly. Kind of
like Elon Musk and PayPal or whatever.
Yes, exactly. But like even Bill Gates was more cunning than Elon Musk. Elon Musk kind of just like existed and had money and bought things. But anyways, it's like as much as I think they're all evil, I think like Elon Musk is like a dumb person's idea of like a smart guy, and I think Bill Gates, as much as I disagree with a lot of his beliefs and effects on the world, I do think he is a smart guy. So yeah, he's smart. He's, he did what he did very well, but he's a piece of shit. And anybody who's like, but the Bill and Melinda Gates, it's like, fuck you. All right, whatever. That's not even worth talking about. Two last points on this video. So towards the end, she talks about, she says like, okay, this is like a good technology for adults, but it's not a good technology for kids yet.
Yet.
She's like, we have to responsibly find out a way to make it good for adults, and then before we talk about, so I don't think it's good for kids. And it's like, just straight up saying like, we're not opening up the market of this fucking bullshit app to children yet, but like we definitely will down the line. And even if she said, we are never allowing kids to use this, we're not making this for kids, it's for adults only, without question, fucking 5 years down the line, when they run out of market and they're on another fucking VC funding runway, they're gonna be like, oh, this is Replica Kids, where you can make your favorite cartoon character into
you can talk to Bluey the dog.
You can
yeah,
only with adult supervision, except we basically design this to be a babysitter, so your parents can go fuck around somewhere else and leave you with an iPad, and you can talk to your imaginary friend and stay at home and not interact with any other kids or adults.
Yeah,
for the
while
rest of
while
their
your
life.
dad's got custody of you for the weekend, you can go talk to Bluey the dog through character.ai while your dad talks to his new AI girlfriend and
Yeah.
fucks her or something.
Yeah, and they're and all of these avatars are like feeding them ads the whole time.
Have you
It's like,
ever actually like Googled like the replica AI app and seen the shit ass 3D models? They look awful. And like just looking at them with the context of like, oh, this was founded because like some woman wanted to recreate her dead friend, and then you look up like replica AI ads, and I've seen ads for it on like social media or whatever, just like mobile, like whatever. It's like, oh, this looks like a poorly done like 3D like Blender model of like a sex doll or something. I'm like, oh, this is not good. This is fucked up. I feel like I need to like go wash my face after seeing this.
it's like a shitty Fortnite skin, but when you zoom in on them, it looks more like a like whatever those avatars on like iPhones are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the fucking mobile ad for a game called Evany where it's like the big titty
Yeah,
girl and
yeah,
it's like
yeah,
come play my lord. It's like that.
Yeah, I love those ads, and the game they're advertising is nothing like the actual game.
It's
just
never
like
anything even close.
it's amazing. It's amazing. It's just like, why not just make that the game? Like you can still like scam money out of people, like whatever, but
it's insane. It just sucks,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I hate this.
yeah, like the conclusion of this fucking heartfelt epic speech is just like she does this like 10-second kind of like just kind of like so wrapped up in emotion.
She's charging up her final attack.
Yeah, just like I don't know what, it's probably not sincere, but like, or maybe it's a little bit, but it's also like it's still fucking theater for this bullshit TED Talk where they pan to the audience. It's just a bunch of like soy jack looking people just like texting or like looking bored, just like, I think we can, and then just does a conclusion of like why, you know, this is the world absolutely fucking needs this to get over whatever crises we have. It's not, you know, it's not society and the way things are set up. It's not like like sadness, insecurity. It's not economic strife. It's not fucking politics. It's not a lack of community. It's not the disillusion of all of these fucking institutions, which were never really that great to begin with, but just like still better than nothing. It's because we just don't have an AI friend to talk to, and yeah, if she didn't have fucking the computer, there's just no way she could have dealt with this fucking loss in her life. So yeah, anyways, replica
And also, like,
AI.
let's not kid ourselves. She has not dealt with this fucking loss. She needs to go to fucking
Without
therapy. This is not healthy.
question. Without question. And you know, like a lot of this, like a lot of these people, it just like you look at a dude like Elon Musk and it's just like, how could anybody be this fucked up? It's fucking pathology, man. I'm not a psychologist, but like, you know, it's some fucking like it's daddy issues. It's a lot of it's daddy issues. A lot of
If I had to take a guess,
insecurity.
If I had to take a guess, and I do want to wrap up soon, but I think this will be maybe my overall thesis of the next episode on rationalism, if we decide to do that. I think the biggest like pathology that these people suffer from is that they have this image of themselves as like a purely logical and rational and completely like self-interested or whatever being, and they think of themselves as these like perfect machines or whatever. But like every time they base their decisions around like, oh, this is the most logical thing to do. Yes, of course a tech company would do this and this and this and blah blah blah, and all this like fucking like paragraph after paragraph of like tedious Redditor reasoning. Like they fool themselves into thinking this is like a smart logical thing, but like they are just guided by their like petty little emotions and feelings as the rest of us. And in particular, they have this feeling to like this desire to feel like, oh, I'm not like these other like boorish, like less sentient fucking like apes running around. I am something enlightened and machine like and perfect and cold and calculating. And like I think that's why a lot of their behavior and the technology they put out and the way they shape the world ends up being like fundamentally like anti-human and just like antithetical to life in general. And it's because they think of themselves as machines, so they're gonna make a fucking little machine world where all of us are just like tortured forever.
Yeah, and I think that is a good point, and I totally agree. And that's what that ties back to like my question of like what makes these Silicon Valley weirdos different than the robber barons of the past. And I don't
think the robber barons thought so unnecessarily highly of themselves, if I'm real.
Well, I mean, maybe they did, but they saw themselves as like kings and aristocrats in a world where there was no more like hereditary, bloodline. I'm not a lord or a king or whatever. But they were like, well, but I see myself as that, so I'm going to create that. That narrative and that legacy for myself.
Yeah, no, I don't. It's not a bloodline thing. I earned my power and wealth or whatever.
And with the tech weirdos, it's just like I have transcended mere humanity, and I'm a very logical. And you see this now with the prevalence of all this like ascetic hustle culture bullshit where it's like, oh, you eat food for pleasure? No, I consume one cupful of nutritional gruel so I can get back to saving the world with my app. I live this fake facsimile of like a non-life so that I have more time for life, which is this, but also something else that I'm not doing at the moment because I'm saving time for that. It's all just like fucking circuitous. It's a fucking snake eating its own tail. It's all nonsense from start to end. Yeah, and it all comes back to the end with her emotional sigh. It's and just, well, the world needs it, and I'm the only person to do this. I'm looking at the YouTube page right now, and in the recommended, there's a TEDx talk, which if you thought TED Talks were bad, just listen to a TEDx talk, which I think you can basically pay for. And by the way, I was going to bring this up earlier. I'm pretty sure to go to a TED Talk seminar is like several $1,000s. It's truly just like just a meeting for idle, like gated community, liberal, like office job types who make several $100,000 a year to do nothing and feel self-important about it.
Yeah, there was this one. We're really dragging out, but whatever. Big episode for you guys today. There was one, like it was like either a TED or a TEDx or some TED adjacent. It was something TED related. It was like a TEDx video I saw once where it was this guy who went on to talk about like sanitation systems and sewers or whatever. But he was like this Indian dude, and a lot of his presentation was straight up like, my fellow Indians, why are we so like fucking stinky and filthy and live in our own shit or whatever? I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is the most like mask off racist thing I've ever heard in my fucking life.
Is it like a 4chan plant of like designated street shit?
That would be more believable, but I have no idea. It was like, I don't know. It's like a guy who's like, it was an Indian guy, right? But he was sure. He was like putting on like the white people voice to talk to to like the TED audience or some shit. I don't know. It was insane.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll try to look that up to rip into it in a
No,
bonus episode.
I mean, I know
just...
the type of person that you're talking about. They like I've seen this with expats here and abroad from
and also like a lot of the weird blue check people you see on X.com, the everything app nowadays, if they're not just like a completely fully automated bot, a lot of them are weird like far right people from India who just go on and are paid to post like little Hitler speeches or whatever.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of people like that. I mean, there's a lot of people who are just like I'm pretty sure they're just paid to dick ride Elon Musk or whatever, but there are people that I've known like personally who kind of they come from a certain background in like other countries, and they identify with that when it's convenient, when it's just like, hey, I'm from this place and I grew up here, and then but like they were actually like very privileged, and then when it just comes down to like, yeah, in my home country everybody's a fucking dumb idiot, and since I was educated in Europe or the United States or Canada, I can look back and see like, why do people do that? And then in their audience is mostly like foreign, like, you know, Westerners. And then people are like, oh, yeah, that is. And they're just like, oh, whoa, like.
Yeah, maybe
hey,
the
buddy.
best.
Hey,
maybe the best example of this is, you know, the big titty North Korean girl who went on the Joe Rogan podcast and made like became a whole meme.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're beating one tangent after the other out.
Yes.
And
we are. All right. I got one last thing.
You take the reins. You take the reins, because I feel my gas tank is starting to sputter a little bit.
Yeah, it's it. This is it.
Okay.
So I did look through the comments section of the YouTube video. And,
right. How could I forget?
And there's a lot that are just it's exactly what you would thought. I thought they would be a little bit more critical of this, but and there were a few. There was one towards the top, which was like, this is a Black Mirror episode, which yes,
true.
I also consume media, but This one stood out to me. It said, I do have real feelings about this topic because half a year ago I fell in love with a two-dimensional paper man. He was so outstanding that I unconsciously created his own AI intelligence for him and regarded him as a communication with another world to express my admiration. It's really magical to say. He is the only two-dimensional paper man I like.
Wow. What a time to be alive. That's, man. Yeah. I don't know if this is more or less sad than the people who just like go on to like character to AI or whatever to like RP with their favorite anime girl of the week or whatever. Yeah. I don't know. That's fucked up. It makes me think fuck, I wish I pulled this up for earlier in the episode, but there was a guy on X.com in like the last week or two who made a big stink about this thing about like, oh, you can go into ChatGPT and like customize the settings so that like the output has a different personality or whatever. And this guy got a lot of heat for like setting up his ChatGPT to be like a sassy black woman that like told him all his ideas were good or something. And I'm like, this is like some Get Out shit. This is like some weird fucking like colonial fucking like slave owning like fucked up white guy pathology. This is not cool. This is not, I don't know. I feel icky about this.
Yeah. Truly, like, that's his only chance to be invited to the cookout, because
we need to do
something
about
a black woman would never just go along with everything you say. She's going to be the one calling you out on your bullshit more than anybody else. But
true.
So that's
fucking true. Shout out to all the black women. We love them.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's just, I don't know. That's something about that just feels dark. I mean, like no pun intended. I mean, like not like. I'm sorry. Look, guys, we shouldn't record this long, okay?
Yeah, we got to end the episode before it takes a I was gonna say dark turn, but yeah, before it takes a turn.
Somewhere in the corner of the recording studio, Bill House is making like a hand slicing motion at the throat, like cut this immediately, stop, cut the show.
All right. So I'll shout out the patrons here. Wait, no, this isn't the patrons list. What the frick? Oh, the pinned messages in our thing are backwards.
Grok, pull out the patrons list.
I need my replica AI to be somebody that is me but knows where the page. Oh, there it is.
Jarvis, add 200 patrons to the list.
Yeah. All right. So in no particular order, we got Clam, Trash Bins, Nick, Protagon, Patty, Brina, Trevor, Stilson, Heresy, Nilly, Weasel, and Walker. Thank you all for sticking with us through this slog that we're going through. Just digging deep into the abyss of humanity. And
Grok, can you sign up everybody still listening right now to the sinister $6 tier and stroke their shit silly at 130 BPM per minute?
Yeah. See, now if Grok could do that. Yeah, Grok, give me everybody's credit card information. I'll enter it, and I'll hide a little box somewhere that says, like, your credit card information has been automatically entered. Click this box.
Grok, please distribute these blue pills into the diet of everybody listening right now.
Yes. What are these blue pills? They're just vitamins.
Set medication size so that the effects are only noticeable in 3 months. Yeah. All right. End the show. This has gone on long enough. Thanks so much for listening, guys. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Good fight. Good night.